Hey everybody, I'm Vasel, and welcome to Look Back, a series of videos where we go back and take a look at reviews that I did a year, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years ago. And I tell you what I think about them now, if I think about them at all. So let's go back in time 20 years ago. I reviewed a game called Emerald. This is move pawns around the board, stealing treasure from a dragon. You've probably never heard of it, unless of course you played this back 20 years ago. And it's fine, it's almost good, 6.5. Cathedral. Now this is one from Richard Breese. It's amazing. I think this is one of the first, and not the first. I think Keaton was the first in his series of key games. And this one, they need to reprint it. I think they're going to reprint it soon. But either way, I got a copy for Dice Tower Library. But it's a rare one with octagonal tiles, 8 out of 10. And then Pitch Car. Of course, back then I called it Carabande. But Pitch Car, same game, flicking, racing game, one of my favorite games ever. 10 out of 10. All right, let's take a look now at 10 years ago. I reviewed La Phantom de l'Opera, The Phantom of the Opera. This is a remake of Mr. Jack. Now, I'm not a big fan of Mr. Jack, but this game, I'm also not a fan of. 5.5. The Phantom of the Opera theme I like. Just not a big Mr. Jack fan. Sorry, Mr. Catala. Rule the Roost. This is a small card game about the Odonauts. You know what else I remember about it? Nothing. 6 out of 10. Snake Oil. Now, Snake Oil is a party game in which you are trying to sell things to other people. There's a lot of versions of this game. This one was from Out of the Box Publishing. It's fine. Again, 6 out of 10. And Takinoko Deluxe. Hard to believe this is 10 years ago now. The big giant wooden box. I never thought Takinoko needed a deluxe edition, but it's good. Just yesterday, as of me recording this, I saw people playing this game at one of our conventions. So go figure, 8 out of 10. All right, 5 years ago. So there's some drops here 5 years ago. First of all, we have Forbidden Sky. Incidentally enough, we're playing Forbidden Jungle now. But Forbidden Sky is definitely the red-headed stepchild in this family of games. Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert. I gave it a 5, but honestly, it's just not good. I'm dropping that to a 4. Horizons. This is a Alien-style game it's decent, and I gave it a 7, but honestly, it just hasn't hit the table or even come close, or even wanting to come close. I think it's better off as a 6. Mercado. This is a game about collecting card sets and things from Rudiger Dorn. Just didn't have any kind of oomph to it. That's another 6. Pank. This is a roll and write. That's okay, but it's so ugly, I had to give it a 6.5. Cannot get a 7. Also, I'm dropping Spell Smashers from a 7 to a 6.5. It is a spelling fantasy game with spells and stuff, like spelling and spells. The Venn diagram for that is almost non-existent, and I'm not finding people who really want to play it. Spring Meadow. This is one of the trilogy of tile-laying games. So there was the one with the cats in the garden, and Autumn, this is the third one, Spring Meadow, which was a nice one from Uwe Rosenberg. It's hard to believe this is 5 years old already. And this one was nice, 7 out of 10. Not amazing. It's not as good as later ones that came, like New York Zoo, but it's decent. Obsession. Can you believe Obsession is 5 years old now? Super popular. I like it. A 7.5. I know there's a lot of people who love it, but Obsession, basically Pride and Prejudice in a box. Star Trek Galactic Enterprises. This is a remake of an older game called Fantasy Business. It's not a very good-looking remake. They put the Ferengi in. But I love this game. It's so much vicious interaction between players. It's a very mean game, but I like it. 8.5. And then Illusion. I originally gave Illusion an 8, but you know what? It's pretty solid. Let's call it what it is, an 8.5. Illusion is a game in which you're putting little pictures full of color on the table, and you're rearranging them based on the percentage of that color. If you've never played it, it's really easy to play and a lot of fun. 1 year ago, I reviewed Bag of Chips. Not great packaging and really silly, but you're pulling chips from a bag, or one person's pulling chips from a bag, and you're trying to guess how many of what color are going to come out. That's pretty fun. 7 out of 10. Ragnaroks. This is a sequel to Santorini of sorts. It's from a different publisher, same designer, same kind of idea. It's not nearly as good as Santorini, but there's some interesting ideas that can be done with the game. 7 out of 10. And then Nightfall. This is from Red Raven Games. It's not one of Ryan Lockett's games. It's it's a team versus team. Well, there's actually multiple ways to play it, but I like the team versus team where you're running around. It's kind of like a tactical two-player fantasy battler, but there's not a lot of rules to it, and I enjoyed it. I gave this one an 8 out of 10. And there you go, folks. Those are the reviews that I did 1, 5, and 10 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and this is Look Back on the Dice Tower.